Hey guys, William Murphy here and welcome back to an empty garage. So an empty garage can only mean one thing and one thing only, and that is, awaiting the arrival of a new project. Now, this one's gonna be a little bit different than normal. Not gonna be an awful lot of stuff, and predominantly the vehicle will be just giving it a quick once over and just maintaining in time for an upcoming event. It's very, very exciting to say the least. So I'm just here waiting. I have some makeshift ramps to assist with the loading of said vehicle into the garage. I guess we're going to wait down by the road now and wait for it to turn up. Very, very happy. Oh, what could it be? What could it be? That's got to be it. Oh, look at that! Beautiful. Today is a very, very exciting one for the channel because we have a supercar! Oh my gosh! So this here is an Ultima GTR, super cool. It's a 67 plate, belongs to a friend of mine, and it's coming in for a bit of storage throughout the winter months, and a couple of little jobs to just fettle with and get sorted out. It has been rolling roaded recently, and a bit of tinkering with bits and pieces to stop it from overheating. The engine bay has been given a fresh lease of life with a ceramic coating on the exhaust, and overall, I think she'll be very, very pleased when she finally gets to see it. But for now, we have a very pressing and quite an important matter to try and address. This is not quite the beginning of the video I was hoping for. However, things escalated pretty quickly when the car was delivered. So let's get stuck into today's video. So first of all, the battery has failed. I've come to Tainer Batteries in Bodelwithin to collect a new red top, and they're just going to get it. Shouldn't be too long. All being well, you can put it back in the car and it'll resolve the issues. Fingers crossed. I've got my battery, so let's stick that in there. I'll get that fitted into the car when I get home. Right. So this Ultima has been with a garage. It's been rolling roaded, it's been tuned, it's been a few bits and pieces done to it as well, and making sure the car is running at its optimum performance. Now, one of the biggest issues it had was the battery. Now, the battery was not holding charge, causing a few issues electrically with the vehicle. It needed to be jump started following a short drive, and even with the battery disconnected, it was still draining over a short period of time, sort of 3 to 5 hours. When the car was delivered, the first thing we did was isolate the battery by disconnecting the terminals, and I returned to the car about an hour later. The battery was absolutely red hot. Now, I had a real worry it would burst into flames, so the battery itself has been removed. This is an Odyssey Extreme PC1100 or red top. It's a race battery, and there's a couple of issues with this. Firstly, it's very small, very heavy, but secondly, the sides have swollen because of the amount of sort of pressure and whatnot in there. It is leaking from the back, as you can see, and it's leaking from the top. So out with the old. Oh, that's heavy. And then I went to Tainer Batteries in Bodelwithin and collected a brand new PC1100 battery. Now, it's a slightly different markings on this, but the battery itself is exactly the same. Heavy. Now, my idea was to start the video all singing or dancing. Lovely, happy, smiley car, happy, smiley delivery. Everyone is in a good mood. However, it turned out to be the complete opposite. We were worrying about the car catching fire, so we had to make sure things were put in place significantly quickly. One of the issues with the car is it has trackers and immobilizers fitted, which have their own separate batteries, but over a period of time with them disconnected, the batteries run down and the insurance company gets notified that the battery's inoperative. Same for any tracking system pretty much across the globe. So we now have the new battery. Access to the front of these is extremely limited. I don't know how well I'm going to film this. I was hoping to be able to show you a video of removing the battery and installing the new one, but I can't do it. So, in today's video, we're going to be fitting the new battery and getting the car ready to start it up on the key. And fingers crossed, the battery will hold charge, there'll be no charging issues, there'll be no worrying about going to the car after a week, 3 to 5 days, even hours, and being multiple problems with the vehicle. So, first of all, the car is parked up against the wall and the bonnet release is that side of the vehicle, so I'm going to have to try and climb through. With my multimeter connected, you can see to do the new battery, we should read about 12 volts. 12.9 volts, so perfect. The old battery should read about 12. It's only reading 9.5-ish. Now, when it was removed from the car, it was still reading about 12, but it has dropped over the day it's been disconnected from the car. But that isn't then strong enough by the time you crank the engine over and it drops down to sort of 7 or 8 volts. It's not enough to power up the big V8 in this car. So, new battery, and let's get it installed and see what we're working with. So one of the great things of the Ultima, the doors don't open sideways, they open up. Which is ideal for small parking spaces, because this isn't particularly a small car. Right then, welcome to the inside of the Ultima. As you can see, headroom isn't huge, but I am 6'1", so what's to be expected in a little supercar. I'm reclining back as far as I can. Obviously the bucket seats have got fixed backs, and short drives, I think this would be great. I don't think I could drive this long distances like the owner does, just personally because of my own height. If I could move the pedals slightly further forward, I think it would make the world of difference, but it's such a cool place to be. Anyway, as you can see, there's a cubby hole here that's covered with a carbon fibre plate. Now, at the back, you've got the 2 pulls for the back, and then at the front, you've got 2 pulls for the front. So, that's the first one, and that's the second one. So now that's front's released, I have the glamorous task of getting out the vehicle, and we can get and turn our attention to the front. Right then, with the front released, you can see you've got the radiators and the fans, you've got the steering rack, the brake fluid reservoir, the screen wash, and then ultimately, this is where the battery sits. Now the battery has little locating marks. I'm going to clean all this plate up before the battery goes in, but it has to go in a certain way. So there was a relay installed up here for the fans. Now that's been removed temporarily to make sure that the battery can get in. It has to come out to the side and up. It can't go straight up because it hits the bottom of the reservoir, and it can't go to the side because it hits the back here, so it has to go to a slight angle. I contemplated disconnecting the knuckle from the steering, and I'm really glad I didn't, because that was a bit of overkill. The battery is really heavy, and the only way to get access to it, because of the gap from the tyre to the side, is actually to climb inside the wheel arch, hover over the tyre, lower the battery into place, and then start assembly. So first of all, let's get this area cleaned up, ready for the installation of the battery. Right, so the battery is now connected up. So to do a couple of tests, obviously first of all is to check the voltage, check there's no drain on that. And secondly, turn the key. Hopefully she'll start. I don't see there being any issues with that, but you never know. So it's a new battery, new connections and such like on there as well. So anything is possible. But let's see how we get on. And quick test, fire up. So I've got my battery connected up. See what we're reading, 12.8, so that's still the same as it was before. Now I'm going to start her up. I'm not going to leave her running for too long because it's quite late. I know there are a couple of other issues that need to be rectified whilst I'm in here, but they'll come in later videos. So I need to make sure the cranking doesn't drop too much. So 12.8 is great. If that drops to like, I don't know, 7 when it's cranking, the starter is drawing too much power from the battery and it can have a bit of knock-on effect. I don't think there's going to be that issue, but you never know. Right then, we are in neutral. Key is in the ignition. Here goes. So we're showing pretty much the same here as we are on the multimeter, which is great. So that shows that the two are in sync. There is a bit of a squeak from behind me, but I'm pretty happy that that is going to be okay. So switch her off because we don't need to worry about that. And then just going to keep that multimeter connected for a little while just to see what happens with regards to the battery. So it started about 12.8. It went up to 14. It dropped down to 10 when it was cranking. So that's just your cranking power. Now let's just see what happens over a period of time. I might come back out a little bit later on just to see if that's caused any difference. If it has, we need to adjust that. If it hasn't, then I'm pretty confident the fault was with the battery and nothing to do with the wiring on this vehicle. So one of the things to take into consideration when you're looking and working with kit cars is they're kit cars. So it sounds like a silly thing to say, but a lot of these cars are built by, John in his shed. That's not to say all of them, and most of them are built to an extremely high standard. What it is to say is that sometimes the wiring and the way that it's put together probably isn't going to meet the same stringent criteria that, I don't know, a modern BMW would on a production line. They have obviously various quality control checks and such like, and although they have got very stringent checks to be completed on these, the production volumes they're building them in, they're just not as strict and regulated as they would be. But kit cars are amazing things. They're very cool. You just got to be aware that maybe the wiring isn't going to be the same on this one as it would be another Ultima that would be another one. So just be mindful of. So far looking good on the battery front, so I'm very happy with that. It's a real quick one of just fitting out the battery onto this car. Hope you've enjoyed this. I will be back later on to check this, but I will, if there's any issues, I'll update you accordingly, but I'm hoping there's not going to be. Probably should open the door because it's very fuming here now. Up to 11:30 at night, so let's just check this. Perfect. So it's about 2 hours after I started the car. We've lost maybe we haven't lost anything, so I'm going to say 0.01, but it's just gone back up. So I'm really happy. This is pretty good. So this is great news. I'm going to keep the battery checked over the next couple of days, and we'll see what happens. But for tonight, I'm going to disconnect it just to make sure there is no dramas with regards to the wiring on this vehicle. But yeah, very happy, very, very happy indeed. And on to the next jobs. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed putting this together. I'm going to really enjoy doing a couple of other videos on this car. As you heard, the squeak from behind me is very, very irritating. That needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency. And that will be addressed as a matter of urgency in a coming video. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this and you want to see more Ultima content and more content of this caliber, then please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, comment down below, and I look forward to sharing more on this car and others coming very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.